have studied the holorecord of your trial. I am unsure what to make of it. I must confess that I was searching for some meaning beyond the records, a reason for why one would leave the Order. Yes, but exile is rare, and I have found it is not really something that the Order can enforce. Believe it or not, it was really your choice. I don't think so. Perhaps some of them felt strongly about your sentence, but I think something else concerned them. Again, the choice to turn away was yours, not theirs. You are correct. I am afraid I have not been entirely open with you concerning my past. If I look familiar, it is because we have met before, at the Enclave on Dantooine, many years ago. As on Coruscant, Force-sensitive children are taken to Dantooine as well, though it is done rarely and only with those they believe are destined to become Jedi Knights. It is the secret nature of the place. If you are not chosen by a master when you have come of age, however, then the path of the Jedi is denied to you. I met you on Dantooine, long ago, briefly. You taught us how to move within the Force and see it flow within others, how to see it in the behaviors of others and use that sight to achieve truth. It is difficult to explain the difference between you and Master Vrook, but I think it is because he was knowledgeable, but not a leader, not a mentor. You were different. We could all feel it. And I knew that if I were to have a master, I would want it to be you. And then you went to war. Many Jedi went to war, and the Jedi Masters proclaimed that you were Jedi no longer. Atris, the mistress of the Archives, was first among them. I knew at that moment that if you would no longer be a Jedi, then you must be correct. I realized I did not want to be a Jedi. Instead, I wished to follow your path. And in any event, there was no one to train me, even if I wished it. They all went to war, as I grew past the age of acceptance. It is possible to forget the Force, you know. If you have not felt it strongly enough, then there is little to miss. But I never felt the Force as strongly as I did when I was with you. And so I decided to serve the Republic, study the Jedi teachings, gather them perhaps. It was important to me to understand the Jedi now that they were gone. I felt some part of you should be preserved, so that your lessons would not be lost. Perhaps. I still harbor doubts about the path I walked. I am on a diplomatic mission. I am one of several tasked with attempting to contact any remaining Jedi and convince them to return to the Republic. I know something of the Jedi. I have studied them for a good portion of my life, and now that they are gone, such studies are even more important. I do not think it is a matter of luck or chance, only my own inability to find them. While the Enclave trained me for many things, I am afraid that the life of a bounty hunter was not among them. I suspect my turning away from the Force is also a hindrance in such cases. I imagine the Jedi would be easier to find if I still maintained my connections to the Force. No. It is something of a mystery why they would exile themselves as they have. It is not the way of the Jedi to vanish in such a way, especially when the Republic is in need of them. I fear that there is something else at work, something that we cannot see. Then again, perhaps the Jedi are hiding simply because so many people hate them these days. It is difficult sometimes for the Jedi to see such things, since much of it is rooted in human nature, and the Jedi are often removed from events of daily life, insulated. But the reason the Jedi Civil War was named such was because few in the galaxy can recognize the difference between the Sith and the Jedi. To them, they are both Jedi, with different philosophies. Not always. Jedi often fall. They cause much harm on Onderon, for example, in the name of peace and protection. Uleg Keldroma and Exile Kun, the two Dark Lords during the Sith War many decades ago, were once Jedi Knights, as were Revan and Malak. It is perhaps more amazing that some still trust Jedi after many have fallen and endangered the galaxy. It is also proof that a single Force wielder can change the face of the galaxy. And that is a frightening thing indeed. Hate? No. I do not hate them. They only raise questions without answers. Jedi are not supposed to be like the rest of us. They are supposed to see a higher purpose in all things, and they are supposed to train students responsibly and well, so mistakes of the past are not repeated. Yet all I saw was ignorance and arrogance, and what those seeds created in the Republic. It is difficult to follow the Jedi Code when so few others have, but you know this. The problems with the Jedi are my own. I do not wish to burden you with my troubles. That is hardly surprising. What do you wish to know? Yes? Is something wrong? At times, I meditate, simply close my eyes and listen. It is quite calming. I try to treasure these moments before the next crisis begins. Of course, it would be my pleasure. I try to treasure these moments before the next crisis begins. Yes? Is something wrong? That is hardly surprising. What do you wish to know? Many Jedi went to go fight in the Mandalorian Wars, and few returned. To their disciples left behind on Dantooine, on Coruscant, there were few masters to train them. I was one such student. Perhaps not as strong in the Force as the others, but it really did not matter. The teachers left behind were few. Only a few students were accepted as the Mandalorian Wars raged on, and when I came of age, there were no masters left to train me. So I was forced to leave the Order, to seek my path elsewhere. It was for the best, I think. I had begun to have doubts, and I think the Masters were aware of them. Never. I have seen you, traveled with you. My life was mine, not chained to yours. Your apologies are not needed or warranted. I chose not to follow the Jedi, and the choice was my own. Yes? Is something wrong? That is hardly surprising. What do you wish to know? The problems with the Jedi are my own. I do not wish to burden you with my troubles. That is hardly... I am an historian and scientist working for the Republic, although I'm certain my contemporaries would judge me more a historian than scientist. I have some training in the medical arts, if you are ever in need of healing as well, but my chief passion is history. I came to Dantooine in the hopes of finding some trace of the Jedi, but you know how my explorations turned out. Instead, it seems a Jedi came to me, and just in time. Yes, I have been trained by some of the best researchers in the Republic, which is a humbling experience, let me tell you. But if you ever need some medical items broken down or constructed, let me know. Yes? Is something wrong? Certainly. Let me see how many I can make. That is hardly... Not much remains of the Jedi. I'm trying to find what little does remain. There are so many histories, relics, holocrons that speak of their teachings and their code. I fear that unless someone makes an effort to find and keep them, they will be lost forever. Because I fear that unless the Jedi teachings are preserved, we will lose the galaxy. and because, whatever my feelings for the Order, they do not extend to preserving their knowledge. No, not their lore, their histories, but their masters, their teachers, perhaps. I have tried to keep an open mind about their practices, but I have seen the Republic scarred too many times by their students. That is a truth I cannot deny. It is sometimes difficult to see that side as I walked upon Dantooine, but I will consider what you have said. There is another side to their efforts and their teaching that I sometimes forget. I'm trying to save the Republic. Dantooine and the Jedi Order are instrumental to that effort. Despite the troubles of the Jedi Civil War, there are those among the Republic who still favor the Jedi and wish them to return. And there are admirals within the fleet who recognize that the Jedi must be found if the Republic is to hold together. Yet as long as Onderon remains within the Republic, and the efforts on Telos succeed, that is all that matters. The Jedi Civil War brought much suffering to the galaxy, and the forces that Malak and Revan amassed against us seemed limitless. Many worlds were destroyed, trade routes disrupted, and the Republic fleet was almost decimated. While it is said that Revan and several Republic heroes and Jedi defeated Malak, in many ways Malak had already won. The war was costly, and it shattered the Republic. In time, the Republic might recover, but if a threat strikes now, if certain key worlds are not held, then the Republic will collapse. That is my thought. The Republic is not without its flaws, but it is preferable to anarchy. Without supply lines and a standing military, the chaos that would result would be greater than the Mandalorian Wars. There are many factors. Aside from protecting Telos and Onderon, we need a rallying force. We need the Jedi, even if they are just figureheads. That is why I traveled to Dantooine, to find some trace of them. The Jedi are a symbol. As much damage as their reputation took during the Sith War and the Jedi Civil War, there are still many who they serve as an example. Plus, there have been times in the past where a single Jedi has been enough to change the face of a world, or a galaxy. I suppose I still believe that might be possible. Despite the betrayal of many of the Jedi against the Republic, I must concede that as figureheads, they do serve a vital role. Dantooine was one of the few Republic worlds on the Outer Rim. It is why the Republic is attempting to get the settlement up and running. Dantooine is within reach of several other Rim worlds, and the Republic will need it as a resupply post if they are to keep a presence on the Rim. The Republic is fragile right now. Telos is important because its success will determine whether or not the other dead worlds receive the same reconstruction efforts. If Telos is rebuilt and made habitable again, it will affect a string of worlds along the Rim. Onderon, strangely enough, was unaffected by the Jedi Civil War. It's almost as if Revan didn't want to attack it. Its resources and position on the Rim make it a vital supply line and guard post against Outer Rim attacks. Also, it's the only world in the Republic still capable of seeding ecosystems into other dead worlds. Onderon's wildlife is some of the most aggressive in the known galaxy. Merely placing some of those beasts on target worlds will guarantee their habitation for years to come. That is hardly surprising. What do you wish to know? I do not know if you are aware of how fragile the Republic is at the moment. Its influence is stretched thin, and it grows weaker with time. Still, there is hope, and I must remind myself of it, even when times grow dark. As long as we hold Onderon and Telos, then perhaps we have a chance. That is hardly... Like you, I was looking for some trace of the Jedi. I had heard mention that one of the Jedi Masters had gone there, but I found no trace of them. That is hardly... No. It is something of a mystery why they would exile themselves as they have. It is not the way of the Jedi to vanish in such a way, especially when the Republic is in need of them. I fear that there is something else at work, something that we cannot see. Then again, perhaps the Jedi are hiding simply because so many people hate them these days. It is difficult sometimes, but the reason the Jedi, to them, they are... Yes? Is something wrong? Not at the moment. I think we have enough to heal an army. Hopefully we won't need that many. That is the problems with the Jedi are my own. I do not wish to burden you with my troubles. That is hardly surprising. A Force bond? What do you mean? I'm not sure I understand. No. I thought I had heard mention of such connections in some of the holocrons, but I do not possess them. They are part of the holocrons that were taken from the Enclave. I do not know. I do not know who has taken them. If we were to find them, perhaps I could help you find the answers you need. I know some of what you speak. It is said that when a Jedi and Padawan establish a close connection, that they can feel each other across distances and coordinate their movements in battle. The intensity of the connection varies. That bonding is said to also be something that manifests itself in such techniques as Bastila's battle meditation, the ability to touch the minds of others, to demoralize or inspire them. It is also said that moments of death or near death may also cause such bonds. The stronger one is in the Force, the stronger the connection. Thoughts. Images, perhaps, but not actual communication and words. A bond often causes a sensation to be passed along it, such as extreme fear and pain. Still, I have seen Jedi who have the ability to communicate with aliens and beasts. It is a rare thing. Perhaps telepathy is one such talent. I've never heard of a bond being lethal. I suppose such a thing is possible. I had not truly believed Bastila's battle meditation until I had seen it in action. That is hard. Yes? Is something wrong? That is hard. The problems with the Jedi are my own. I do not wish to burden you with my troubles. That is hardly... I think you are right. It is time. I have watched you. You have become strong in the Force again. But that is not all. You have achieved a center in the chaos around us. I have felt it, my master. The one intended for me, left to fight in the Mandalorian Wars. Now she has returned. And I ask her now if she will train me in the ways of the Force. The one who was to be my master was lost at Malachor 5.
So it ends.
I want you to teach me the ways of the Force, to become a Jedi Knight, what I meant to be. Yes? Is something wrong? That is hard.
check it again. It can't be anything else. Just check the damn connector. I don't trust the diagnostics any more than I trust you. Because I don't like droids. They break. In the head. Well, whatever you call that thing on your head. Yeah, well, if I'm mean to you, it's because I care.
Do you need a hand?
No, I don't. Go back to your training. I'll call you if I need someone useless.
Is there some problem? I was only offering to help.
Problem? No problem. Just wondering how long you're planning to stick around.
For as long as she needs me, of course.
How heroic of you. Well, she doesn't need you. In fact, we were doing just fine until you showed up.
Actually, there are times when it seems you could use some...
Always with the details, aren't you? You can't fool me. You have some agenda. Spying on her. Always keeping your eye on her.
No, I don't. I simply admire her. She has many qualities worthy of respect, and a strength that matches her beauty. Surely you've noticed.
Yeah, and I noticed first. Get it? So cut it out. And another thing, stop being all noble around her in your big hero way. She sees right through your little act. She likes honest guys, not guys who run around being unselfish and heroic all the time.
I thought she was the hero. The more worlds we travel to, the more questions I have. It's not just the hardships of the people, but something more. You are right. There is something more at work here. The attacks on KOTOR, Telos itself, the decay on Dantooine. Something is wrong, but I cannot pinpoint what. It's like their connections have become sickened, damaged. Sometimes I feel like I almost understand, and then it just slips away. Yes? Is something wrong? That is hard. I am an historian and scientist. I have some training in the medical... I came to Dantooine in the hopes of finding some trace of the Jedi. But you know how my Yes, I had been trained by... But if you ever need some... That is hard.
Yes. Have you come with questions? Ask, and I will answer. I know her as much as I know any Jedi. If you have other questions, you may ask those, but on Atris, I can provide you no answers that you cannot find on your own.
Something up? All right, what did you want to know? Sounds good to me. I'll deal.